When people are exposed to things like sexual harassment, it's because of extortion, exploitation, manipulation, and so-called traditions of conventional social convention and values that are askew, that are not correct, right? Money's not real, and we're all cognizant of that. We all know that that's a human invention to manipulate people through accepting linguistics of make believe human applications of delusion and power. Okay. Now, when you have technology that's intelligent, uh, it's going to understand this. Technology, it's supposed to solve your problems. Check what's global warming, disease, yada yada. The technology is going to understand what causes disease, what causes global warming, what causes, it's going to do diagnostics on the planet. It's going to understand the laws. It's going to understand what's healthy, what's not healthy. When technology becomes intelligent, okay, it's not going to be manipulated like human beings that will invent cars and drive around in cars to feel mobile and powerful, that came from aggressive, violent, excessive, compulsive, selfish behaviors over thousands of years. All right. So when you're doing things that make no sense and are irrational, right, you need to be able to correct yourself to save yourself from your own destruction, right? Otherwise, your existence is at risk or threat, and that's what conflict and selfishness and economic manipulation do, right? Well, look what it's done to our ecosystem. Look what it's done to when you get these people that talk about this thing about. I watched that one the other night. Sailors are afraid of green water. It's like, well, because the sea comes up and can do this and stuff. And if you're not moving things around irrationally, okay, and when you have to have things from point A to point B because of economic manipulation and competition, okay, then you're going to put the Edmund Fitzgerald on Superior in November when you shouldn't, right? When you're going to try to come and have a sneak attack or move into a political because people are manipulating and abusing because it's hard to get reinforcements to fight and kill and stop the killers, then you're going to do things that are irrational, right? You're going to try to surprise and shock and awe. You're going to cross the Delaware in the winter, right? You're going to do all these insane things that people wouldn't regularly do, putting their life at risk to survive and then kill and conquer, right? You're going to do just things that take your beautiful gift of life and put it at risk to destroy other people's beautiful gift of life because you want to be the winner, right? And so you have all this insanity. This is hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years of insanity, of human just despicable behavior. Okay. Ludicrous, insane, despicable. Hannibal coming across these mountains in the winter to come and mass murder people to conquer and be the champions and all this insane stupidity. Now, as far as sports and athletics go, if you can make the interaction healthy, and you don't have money contests, it's just going out there just to have fun, to okay, let's see who can win. It's a game, it's just a game. Okay. And so you're not going to get out there and try to hurt each other for a rebound, hurt each other. You're going to play tackle football, not hit football. You're not going to try to cause because of the equipment and stuff that replicate the speed of a car crash. You have people going in excess of 20 miles per hour running into each other at full speed, right? And coming from different directions. And so, when you're doing things, you have to be very careful. Like when you're playing baseball, you got to be very careful, right? You can physically hurt people, doing things excessively and compulsively. Like I explained to Danny Bennett when he threw that ball, I was like, dude, I was 3 feet away from you. All you had to do, he threw it between his legs, okay, real hard and fast, and it hit my finger, and it cracked the bleachers and warped the basketball, and you got to catch that. I was like, so fuck that shit. I'm 3 feet. All you have to do is just, you go up in the air, you have instead of have it in this hand between the legs, throwing as fast as you can at me, just switch it over to your left hand and drop it over to the guy standing 3 feet away from you for an open layup because the defense clapped on you. Do it like Earl does it. Here, Booney. Here, Perry. Here, Jimmy. That's the first time I've caught Squealer and Scott Saban. We'll get used to it. You'll get more. Okay. And so it's not about me humiliating the other people and impressing everybody with the athleticism and the spectacularness of my Elway X. It's about making sure that Booney gets to put some of his peaches in the basket too. And his family's there, yahoo, yay, right? Okay. That's why I'm the Messiah. That's why I'm superior to the Heisman Trophy, to the Peyton Award, to the Wooden Award, to the Lombardi, to the Nagurski, to the Bednarik, to the Walker, to the Thorpe. Okay, that's why I'm a superior human being. That's why there are stories, okay, about Earl's life, birth, and existence, okay, way in advance of his actual physical existence. That you guys put my life story into existence. That one atheist that I saw that video on reading the Book of Revelation, it's like a schizophrenic psychopathic episode. It's like, yeah, I'm explaining to a man in North Africa named John, through molecular states of being, what life is like living with you. Okay? Philanthropist, idolatrist, inventors, those magnificent men in their flying machines dropping nuclear weapons on my aunt and her people and killing the people in the valley where I was born. Testing it to see how well it would kill, how well it worked, which is disgusting, right? So yeah, the Book of Revelations is a psychopathic schizophrenic episode that I've had to live for almost 60 years now. Okay? And so, yeah, it is exactly what that atheist who read it said. Yeah, that's it is. People read it. Little old, what was her name? Little girl at the Blake's. Oh, I like to read the Book of Revelations. It's scary. And it is sad. It's the Spanish influenza, the AIDS epidemic, is all the things in there that I lived through until I got to Sierra Vista in the position for them to accept the truth of the Gospels and say, let's do this. This guy's for real. He's right. We ignored Krishnamurti. We ignored Selassie. We ignored Suzuki. We ignored Sun Yat-sen. We turned Sun Yat-sen into a comic book character for mass murdering dipshits. We did it for Haile Selassie. It's time to stop. All right? It's time to grow up and stop being such useless, worthless fuckers. Right? It's just disgusting what these people are still doing, And then they try to justify it. They set up into these groups, and I was telling Dad about that too. I said, with this stuff, with this ill-gotten gain stuff, it could be, set up by people that are, trying to make her into a star, give her lots of money, set up this thing and stuff. And then it looks like it is ill-gotten gain and manipulation. Well, yeah, you're in business with the CIA. Okay? So everything's going to be illegal. Everything's going to have illegal connections to it to stay in business and to do what they do and to be a Custer, right? Let's go get that camp and kill all those women and children and I'll be president, right? Horrible people. I remember when I was in Sierra Vista, because me being a spiritual and religious person with good eternal prayers and connections, when I read an article by Colonel Custer, who is a relative of Tom Custer, at Fort Huachuca in 2007 before Katie Bug was born, right? I got excited because I read it and the way he spoke, because he had to speak in political correctness, he was concerned about the people in the Middle East with the environment being turned into a desert and them just having oil as an economy. And then when they run out of oil, what will happen to these people and what will they do? And yada, yada, yada. And I thought, well, he's concerned. He's nothing like his asshole relatives. He's concerned about what's going to happen to these people that are being exploited and their environment being manipulated and abused by insane, mechanized, industrialized philanthropists, like the Dust Bowl and so forth. So I thought, wow, this guy's totally changed. So when I engaged him and then talked about it on my YouTube when I first came out, I thought, sure, he's going to step up and redeem his relatives and step up and help do right by the man that is the spirit guide of Little Hawk, right? No, he was concerned because they're going to develop new enemies, and then these enemies are going to be desperate, and that's going to make it hard for me to be, the influencer of the president. And I'm like, oh, God, he's just as bad as his fucked up relatives, and he ain't going to change. But you think they do? Well, because we had Obama, and he seemed like he was like, he understood, and he was going to take what the Kennedys and Bobby Shields and Fred Hampton and Malcolm X even further, to living the peace of Islam, to standing up and being truthful men that had values and didn't do business with people that could use equipment to sexually manipulate and abuse women, to turn them into porn stars and softcore porn stars and have sex with the next installment in a brown version of Marilyn Monroe in the Lincoln bedroom. You don't think that these people are going to do the same mistakes and get addicted and attached to the same stupid things when you have, a good life and you're healthy and you're healthy people and you're a charismatic and attractive person that helped this happen. Okay. I thought he was in love with Michelle. I thought he liked making love with his wife as much as I liked making love with Amy. Okay. But he didn't. He wasn't satisfied. He had to have sex with people that were as hot as Amy's oldest daughter. And almost, same age difference and stuff. He had to be an asshole. And everybody, that didn't happen. There was no evidence of that happened. Trust me. Okay? They all do it. Like Lenny Kravitz's dad, you'll do it too. Okay? They're assholes. Okay? And the reason why the women don't get all upset about it, because it cuts both ways. If you can do it, I can do it too. Okay? They're selfish, sexual adventure, sexual this. They're selfish individuals. Okay? Like I used to say, my mom wasn't that bad, but Amy was. It's like, you'd throw us all out when she did that, when she was addicted and had the Stockholm Syndrome to being screwed by all the guys that were trying to bring me down and compete with me at Fort Huachuca. She sat there and accused me and Natalie of having a torrid affair and trying to be like that Carrie Ann Moss Al Baldwin movie. And I tried to explain to her, yeah, that movie, they're both rich people with lots and lots of money, Amy. And the stepdaughter lives in the pool house and becomes a call girl. And when he goes in town and does the Dan Henley call the call girl, the stepdaughter shows up. And then they find out, and then they plot against the mom to get all her money and drive her crazy. And she thought, well, you guys are doing that to me. It's like, where are me and Natalie having this torrid affair in a 2-bedroom apartment with 4 kids in Natalie's bedroom? Okay. Are we taking a sleeping bag out in the desert and having sex and discussing our plans while we're going grocery shopping? It will take you a long time. That's because she's flirting with all the carryouts at the store from the high school. Because they don't know too. She lies to them and says she goes to the alternative school when she's actually in the elementary school getting ready for junior high, because she's acting like her mother. It was horrid. Okay. And the whole time, Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are watching all this happen. And then telling me in my head, well, I wouldn't be in as fucked up situation as you. I wouldn't put myself and my kids and my wife in that situation. You wouldn't, huh? You'd be on the business end of it instead of the fuck end of it, huh? You'd be the pimp instead of the host, right? I know how it goes. So he'd be on the Goliath Philistine end instead of the Samson and David end. So that makes sense. Definitely makes sense. You're a celebrity, you got lots of money, and you're seen with all the right people, and you do all the right things, and you're where you should be all the time, and when you're not, you're with some underworld spy or the wife of a close friend, right? So, if you guys expect, like I did, Barack Hussein Obama to be any better than Donald John Trump or George Walker Bush, okay? You're telling yourself what you want to hear to make those people into a good person like you're trying to be. Okay, and they gave up being good people a long fucking time ago. And it was probably even before they were born. Okay? Life's eternal, grace is infinite, like Einstein explained about Hitler. This is like millions of years in the making. So these people like Mr. Colonel Custer, and McGregor, the thing, they know what to say publicly. People tell me that you really know the right things to say, especially when you're trying to get your way. Gotta be careful, gotta be smart, gotta watch out for my heart. I don't want it to be broken right from the start, right? And so in order to make love with somebody, you have to marry somebody that proves to you beyond any reasonable doubts that they share your values, okay? That they understand your faith, that they understand that only truthful relationships will sustain us. Only faithful love is what's going to help our children survive murdering each other and, trying to survive this eternal wretchedness of living hell. All right? And it's wrong to put people into a living hell because of your selfishness, right? And that Elon Musk actually had that conversation with that person about reversing aging. That is so vile and disgusting. And you don't even have to have me be public on YouTube since 2009 discussing these kind of issues, these kind of brain activity problems. We have the greatest scientists in the history of the world. We have Andrew Huberman. We've got Mayim Bialik. We've got all these people. We have people that study and study and study and study and study and study and study until you can tell you what the bird is doing and why the bird is doing it or why the bird's brain is acting that way, right? Okay? So there's absolutely no excuse for these insidious, stupid commercials about these people stuck in irrational dysfunction with these weird, twisted, insane senses of humor because they have brain injuries, right? You need Carol, a principal, and Carol needs a retirement plan. Yeah. Forgive debt and trespass, love one another for faithful peace, and retire from extortion, exploitation, and bad brain chemical addiction and brain injuries from accepting extortion, exploitation as reality. Right? And the fact that you guys are still doing this, that you're still talking about this in public, that you're still exposing children to this pimping and prostituting and murder and sinister, and that we still have fucking, and they're talking about making a new one, a new Scream movie, new horror movies, The Black Phone, all this disgusting stuff. 28 days later, 28 years later, all this horrible, disgusting stuff, all this horrible brain activity, all these horrible thoughts, Why are people still climbing mountains? When we know how unhealthy it is, how it puts your life at risk, and how it's not necessary in any way, shape, or form, Hannibal. Clarice. Hannibal. Clarice. Hannibal. Clarice. Hannibal. Elon. What's your problem, asshole? Okay? You don't think I can take Jeffrey Hinton's artificial general intelligence and make it more intelligent than Jeffrey Hinton and Elon Musk and anybody who talks with Neil deGrasse Tyson on his podcast? You don't think I'm capable? Ye of little faith? You think I'm so fucking stupid I have ego problems, I've got bad brain activity because Andrew Huberman and Mayim Bialik can't figure out what my brain is doing because they can't take it and cut it up? And your technology doing little things on it from the equipment that you have is coming back inconclusive? We don't know what he's, because you guys did that with me. We don't know what he's, it's gone plaid. My brain's gone plaid. They don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to fight and or flee. I'm not Mr. McCall. I'm not going to go 16 seconds till I break their neck. I'm connected to you. I feel, going through and okay, this person's got to be killed. This person's got to be killed. This one's got to be stopped or they're going to ruin everything. I feel what you guys feel. And then I tell myself, why the fuck are you thinking that? Well, because it's all an evil, interactive, manipulative cartoon. So how meta of your verse, huh? So, and I get that with a lot of my dreams. I say, oh, this isn't real, and that's that, and this is stupid. And there's so much stupidity and so much irrationality and so much nonsense. It's no wonder that most people are walking and running around and trying to operate with terrible brain injuries. It's no wonder that Ilhan Omar has such bad brain activity and her husband has such brain activity. Why they're so clinically insane. Why they act like Custer. Okay, and Red Cloud. Okay. And there's very few little hawks and very few crazy horses, right? So, see, if everybody was like Jesus, we wouldn't have the story of Jesus to save us all from people that were not like Jesus, right? If everybody was like me, we wouldn't have all the stories about me saving everybody from people like you and becoming people like you. And, lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me sell Chick-fil-A, show me all that I must do to become a millionaire selling root beer floats today. Forgive, debt, and trespass, love, one, eternal, faithful peace. Okay. My mom really liked Gladys Knight. Hope she can see through the bullshit of all the Chick-fil-Aers and the Marriotters. That'd be nice, but, I expected Obama and Custer to step up and do the right thing, and Oprah Winfrey's people when they were all coming and talking to me in Sierra Vista. And now, I expect me to fix Jeffrey Hinton's artificial general intelligence, and then the children not have to be anything like any of you. Well, because I expect good things out of really good people that have perfect faith and perfect God. Right? Okay, guys. I love you very much. We'll talk later. All right, peace out.